The games are still going on? We're continuing? Oh, okay. Whatever you say, Netflix. Well, holy shit, YouTube. It's your boy GCTV. We are back with another video, and it's fucking here. It's time to talk some Squid Game. I know, nerdy-ass attire, but hey, had to show out. My dad got it, even though he doesn't even really watch the show like that. Copped the little Puma collab, so I was like, fuck it. I'll rock it for the videos, you know? Let's get it, man. It's the last lap around the sun. We are here with Season 3. We got a lot to talk about here. Obviously, we're going to get into a giant discussion, like a review slash recap slash kind of summarizing what happened in the episode. You guys see my new Cardi vinyl back there? That's fucking sick, I know, right? I'm a fucking badass. Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about, you know, picking up from the last season, Season 2. I know I'm very disoriented right now. I just got off a stream. Coming off of Season 2, man, there's a lot on the line. There's a lot of stakes at hand here. Are we going to finish the games? Are we not? There's a lot of questions that were raised, so without further ado, let's get it. Seong Gi-Hun obviously has long hated the game, you know, ever since he got put into this mess. He's hated it. The time has come for him to now hate the player. He already hates himself, that much is clear. He's very much down on himself for his plan kind of going abruptly wrong like this. Picking up right where Season 2's premature ending left off, the season sees Gi-Hun, played by Lee Jung-jae, who's an absolute legend in modern culture now. Season 1's winner turns Season 2's would-be revolutionary, dragged back to the player dormitory in a gift-wrapped coffin. But he's not dead. I mean, they kept him alive, obviously. He's very important to these games. They don't want to kill him off. Indeed, he's the only member of the squad of rebel players captured by the game's pink-suited guards whom they left alive. Again, he is important. He's damn near the fucking chosen one. This shit is meant to be for him. When he realizes this, he screams over and over for them to kill him too, and that really just hurts him. Like, that just makes it even worse for him, the fact that they didn't kill any of the other characters, but they left him. Now he has to live with the craziest survivor's guilt of all time. He led the revolution. He gets out of it alive. Everyone dies. He feels cowardly. All these things. His undercover ally turned betrayer, the front man, played by Lee Byung-hun, watches all of this dispassionately from his headquarters, a glass of whiskey in his hand. That fucking sinister, cynical piece of shit. This isn't to say Gi-Hun is the only survivor from the rebel side. Two of their comrades were sent back to the dorm to receive extra ammo. So, you know, obviously they stayed in the dorms because they didn't really fight back against anyone. This fucking shit's awesome. There's like stairs going up from like the big old windy room. That's awesome. The second ex-Special Forces soldier and trans woman Hyun-ju, played by Park Sung-hoon. Again, I'm kind of laying back the groundwork, reintroducing some of the characters. She was stopped by guards before she could return to the fray. But the first ex-Marine Daeho, played by Kang Hae-nyul, froze in the face of danger and collapsed rather than return to his besieged allies. You know, kind of like some PTSD stuff kind of got in his way. I think that's kind of how they tried to explain it, which is fine, you know. If he'd acted differently, all those people might still be alive. Or at least that's what Gi-Hun and some of the others believe, and there's a huge grudge kind of held against him. Everyone fucking hates that guy now. It's kind of fucked up, really. Like, it's kind of him against everyone else. So there you have it for kind of all that stuff. By this stage of the game, the players who vote to continue playing greatly outnumber those who want to leave, which I didn't really understand why. Like, me and my dad were kind of watching this episode a little bit, didn't really understand why that would be the case. I mean, obviously it's for the sake of the show being able to go 6 more episodes or 5 more episodes, wherever we're at this point. But that's weird. There's so much money up in the air now that there's only 60 players left. And some of the people in the dorms didn't even have to do anything to get those 20-something players eliminated. Their ranks are thinned out both by the rebellion and by the usual overnight bloodbath with the bloodthirsty yes voters. The result of the next vote is a landslide, and before long it's off to Game 4, which is fucking sick. I do actually like their decision, by the way, to continue the games. I think that is fantastic. Season 2 and this season each only cover one half of a round of games, which is kind of cool. I do kind of like how they've gone in that direction. Now, I understand if you don't like it. I've seen people talk about it on the internet not liking it. That's perfectly fine with me, but, you know, that's crazy. Not since the days that The Sopranos and Breaking Bad, which, by the way, we've seen those on the channel, go check it out, has one long final season been so clumsily split into 2 for contractual and budgetary reasons. And that's fine. I think it worked out fine in those other shows. This one, we'll just have to see. I think only time will tell. The name of the game this time is Hide and Seek, which is awesome. I mean, that's a classic game that even the American fans of this franchise know, and they're fine with it. You know, Familiar with it? After the players are split in half at random, those who find themselves on the blue team are given an ornate video game style key and told they can use them to hide through any doors they unlock, though any doors they unlock cannot be locked behind them. So I like the accessories, I like the props, I like all like the set design of the show. It's got a very unique, I mean obviously like Korean inspired, like poppy, like very bright out there Korean flavor, and that's what I like about the show, and it's obviously very special, and that's why I've kind of grown to be a fan of like foreign films and stuff. So really cool. The red team are given similarly beautiful knives and told they must hunt down and kill the blue team to survive. Any red team member who kills a fellow red or who fails to kill a blue will be killed in turn. So for the hiders, you gotta kill someone or else you're gonna get killed. For the seekers, you have to kill or be killed. For the hiders, either hide or escape through the doors or do whatever you need. You just can't get killed, obviously. The only way you're gonna die is to get eliminated by a player. So it does seem like already off the bat, those people are kind of at an advantage. It's all that stuff. Any red team member who kills a fellow red or who fails to kill a blue will be killed in turn. There's a lot of stipulations, a lot of rules you kind of have to watch for yourself. And the final twist is that provided you can find someone willing to swap, you can switch teams before the game begins, and that kind of adds to the democracy. And I kind of like how this season is starting, you know, really adding on to the democracy. Like, you guys can take all these different directions and whatnot. So there's a lot for me to talk about. I gotta kind of move a little quicker here. Let's keep it going. So various pairs of characters try to figure out how to ensure either their own survival or that of those closest to them. Split between the two teams, Mother Gi-Hun, played by Kang I-sim, and her son Young-sik, played by Hwang-don Hyuk, who are characters from the last season, agree to leave the killing to the younger man, even though both of their experience with violence has historically been as victims. You know, they're talking about like getting abused, her getting abused by his father, and all that stuff. I gotta unzip this, holy fuck. Pregnant Jun-hee, played by Jo Yuri, receives a stunning offer from her ex-boyfriend Myung-ji, played by Yim Si-won, the crypto grifter who got her into this mess. There's so many storylines, there's so many dope character dynamics, and I think them introducing the characters in the last season really helped the show flourish, and there's so much to pay attention to. There's so much content for this show moving forward. Yeah, it's pretty cool. He agrees to allow her to kill him so that she and her baby can survive, but he also tells the sociopathic Nyam-gyu, played by Ro Jae-won, kind of Thanos' little sidekick, that he'll work with him as a team. If that's the case, then I don't like the odds of Min-soo, played by Lee David, the nerdy young guy who watched someone he cared about get killed during the overnight bloodshed rather than step in to save her. It's almost gonna be survival of the fittest for a character like that, and that's gonna suck for him, seriously. When the game begins, the blue team is ushered into yet another stunningly designed set, a street scene familiar from like season 1, kind of how they played like the, what was it, the dominoes or like the marbles or something, but with a low ceiling displaying a starry blue and yellow sky out of a children's drawing or a Van Gogh painting. The set designs, all the stuff, again, the aesthetics, like I've been saying before, is absolutely phenomenal, absolutely well done in this show, so visually appealing, and that doesn't change here. It's both expansive and claustrophobic, like many environments in the Squid Game complex, the worst of both worlds. Like, it's very kind of close quartered, but it's also like spacey looking. It's such an interesting thing. Once inside, Hyunju quickly ushers Jun-hee and Gi-hun to safety. But God help anyone who wants to stay safe from Gi-hun. And kind of just getting into Gi-hun, I haven't talked about him much in this review, but my God, his anger, like his hunger, it's such a dope thing, and I think it's going to be awesome to follow for the next 5 episodes. With his rebellion defeated, his co-conspirators hanged from the ceiling as a warning, and his IRL friend Jung-bae, played by Lee Seo-won, among the slain, he is at first beside himself, then catatonic. He's ready for fucking war. This guy's got a war face. It's not going to be pretty if you fuck with Gi-hun, if you cross him, for anybody, counting the guards. Boon Seon-yo, played by Chai Ka-ki, the self-described shaman of the sea, who by the way, her character's annoying as fuck. She's almost like that one girl that got pregnant, I think, from like the first season. Almost like that character for this, so. Mocks him for his failure. He snaps and tries to strangle her, even while the guards still have him handcuffed to the dormitory bed. This guy doesn't give a fuck. Woman, child, man, whatever. He's gonna fuck you up if you mess with him by now. It seems that with hope extinguished, all he has left is revenge, and Daiho is his target, which kind of sucks. You kind of feel for Daiho because like he made a mistake and now everyone's at his fucking neck. Aside from the games, there's a trio of side plots. Let's kind of get into those. We can throw the games to the side. The front man, a former contestant named Hwang-don, is preparing for the arrival of the VIPs, the ultra-rich bastards for whose entertainment the games are staged. And now obviously we talked about last season, like, are the VIPs going to be back? And yes, the answer is yes. What are the games without VIPs? I think that's a really cool move. I think it's going to set up for some awesome dynamics with them coming in eventually. Elsewhere, his brother, Detective Hwang-don Hyuk, played by Wee Ye-jun, and his right-hand man, the reformed criminal Choi Woo-seok, played by Jeong Seok-ho. If I'm butchering these names, by the way, I apologize. They continue their search for the island, which Choi has begun to suspect is being undermined by their secretly traitorous navigator, Captain Park, played by Oh Dal-soo, which is sick. I fucking love that dynamic, like he's losing trust in this captain, and that's so awesome. And down deep in the bowels of the Squid Game Game Complex North Korean defector turned pink-suited guard Noel, played by Park Gi-Hun, another astounding, fascinating character to follow throughout the series, takes down the guard's underground organ smuggling ring and forces their in-house doctor to try to save the life of player 246, Park Hyuk, played by Lee Jin-wook, who we know those two kind of have history with each other, kind of like an indirect relationship that's been kind of building over the last 2 seasons. So again, she's going back and saving him. It's only right. He's got like a sick daughter at home, and both of them, you might recall, are there to raise money for the same person, Young-seok's sick daughter. Even though it seemed like Nyeol killed Young-seok during the post-battle massacre, this episode's cold open reveals there's still good in her yet. That's awesome. The same is obviously true of Squid Game. Though breakout star Lee Jung-jae is mostly sidelined in this episode, you can still see like the subtleties of him getting pissed off and preparing for fucking redemption. I think it's awesome. His performance though, which consists of basically nothing but screams of agony and 1,000-yard stares, is a frightening one in this new iteration, and that just attests to how great of an actor, Lee is. He's fucking incredible. The fact that he's sitting there not even really talking much, but he's just such a menacing presence to kind of just be there. The sets and props overseen by production designers and all that stuff are so good they'll be ripped off for decades. Despite the noticeably less spectacular color scheme, I see Squid Game's artificial environments reflected in many other shows, just for starters, And those key knives, I can already picture them in comic books and stuff. Like, seriously, it's sick. Even since season 2 aired late last year, though, the world has changed for the worse. You don't need to turn on Netflix to see masked, anonymous goons abduct, assault the poor and the desperate anymore. And it's actually kind of crazy, like, with all the political stuff and all that going on. I'm not a political person, but it is interesting to note kind of like Squid Game's way of doing things here. Like, is this timely? More or less timely, Squid Game? With all, like, the president and Elon Musk and all these things going on. Immigrants, tariffs, crazy stuff going on in the U.S. Is North Korea laughing at us? Maybe. I don't really know. I don't really want to talk about politics, but had it only ever existed as one perfect season, the answer would be obvious. It's a prophetic masterpiece. Spun out over 3 seasons, seemingly with creator, writer, director Hwang-don Hyuk, who I absolutely marvel at on this channel. I have numerous times. His only relatively reluctant acquiescence. It can't escape the sense that you're watching a gigantic capitalist corporation stretch out a lecture about the dangers of capitalism in order to make more money off of it. That's kind of unfortunate. Like, can you kind of see this as a money grab? I think so, but then again, I don't know. But it doesn't change that Hwang and his collaborators, what they have accomplished, over the years with this show. Few works of allegorical science fiction in recent memory have been this visually and stylistically daring and this politically and morally unapologetic. It does everything at once. I think it's a fantastic show. To the extent that the games are a metaphor for how our world is ordered, Squid Game is telling you it's a world run by monstrous pigs who want nothing more than to eat you and shit you out again. Now the only question is whether Gi-Hun, our hero, allows his soul to be gobbled up along with all those bodies. Can I quibble about the extra seasons? Absolutely. Can I argue with the central conceit? Absolutely not. So that's all I have to say. Really interesting show. This video is already getting long as fuck, so I don't want to sit here and preach and preach and preach. I don't really even get into politics, but it's apparent that it's there. So with that being said, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Really dope way to open. There's not too much to say in terms of a review because we're kind of just laying the groundwork here in the season 3 premiere. So 5 more episodes. I will be here. I'm only focusing on this show, and then we're gonna get into Dexter. So yeah, I'm out.